But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. If you had the Spirit, you would not cause war and strife between the people of God, because that is the opposite of peace. If you had the Spirit, you wouldn't hate your brother, because that is the opposite of love. If you're making a division in Israel, how can you say that you are a man of God and that you have the Spirit? If you had the Spirit, you will be leaning towards peace and resolve. If you find yourself making things worse and not towards the betterment of God's people, then you are the devil. And I'm going to say this, that nobody in this world is perfect. And we cannot condemn people because we see flaws in them. Majority of people you see wears a mask of who they want you to see them as, and put up a fake front of righteousness and that they're perfect and do no wrong. But if you ever live with them, maybe not at first, it can take months or years, but eventually you will be able to see them for who they are, if not right away. Once they get comfortable, you'll be able to see what their problems are. So who are you to condemn someone for their problem area? We may not all struggle in the same areas, but we cannot say that no sin is better than the next, or no sin is worser. We all are going to burn for any sin we do. So tell me which one, and tell me where that is in the book. Tell me which one you won't burn for. Romans chapter 2, verse 14. Even Gentiles who do not have God's written law. If God didn't give the law to the Gentiles, then how can they discern our books for us, and should we let them? If our priests, the Israelites, were chosen to discern and teach the law. Isaiah chapter 42, verse 1. Behold my servant, whom I uphold, mine elect in whom my soul delighteth. I have put my spirit upon him, and he shall bring forth judgment to the Gentiles. Isaiah chapter 60, verse 3. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and kings to the brightness of thy rising. Isaiah chapter 49, verse 6. And he said, it is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant, to raise up the tribes of Jacob, and to restore the preserved of Israel. I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the end of the earth. So if we are a light to the Gentiles, then aren't they supposed to follow? Are they supposed to be teaching us and telling us what to do? Yes, if they are right by the book, we are not to be arrogant. We submit to the word of our Lord. But when it comes to them teaching our God-given books, I don't think they were given the law, and I know for a fact it's not their place to come in between us and do anything unless it's for the betterment of God's people. These Gentiles have been making and have made a division between us since we were first put into captivity, all the way up until now, and we still in captivity. They turned the lighter and the darker amongst us against each other. They keep some in the house while the rest work in the field. They made us beat each other with the whip and made us even kill each other, all the way up until they planted snitches among us, so that every time we try to uplift, they drag us back down. That's how we have sellouts today, folks. When they took us on the slave ships, they made us bow before their gods, making us break our first commandment, thou shalt not have no other gods before me. They tortured us by beating us and ripping the babies out of the pregnant women's stomachs and putting them on hooks, using them for bait. They chained us up and caged us up like animals. Didn't care if we vomit or poop on ourselves, because we did it all right there. They tortured us and sold us, and let me put it exactly what my father wrote, because I believe he got it down 100%. Let me read this, and he called this what whites have done. And before I read this, I would like to state that I'm not a racist, nor am I being racist. I'm just reading the facts and the truth of what they have done, the reality of what they have done and what they are doing to us. So let me read this. Wake up to these white devils. The whites race murdered millions of Native American Indians and enslaved, murdered, and raped the black culture. Whites are poisoning the water with fluoride. Whites are poisoning the air with soft metals, chemtrails. Whites are poisoning the sea with mercury, toxic waste, and nukes. Whites are poisoning the food with genetically modified GMOs and irradiation, which is radiation, to kill all the nutrients in food. And let's not forget preservatives. Chemicals they put in it that kills you so they make more money on the product's shelf life. They, evil buds, purposely inject diseases and plagues and vaccinations, and people die of mysterious illnesses due to that shit. They murder Arabs to keep their economy going and tell the world this is your enemy when they are. This country lives off the murdering of other nations and drugs. This land is stolen, and you guessed it. The freaking crackers stole this land and called it America, talking about they discovered it. Yeah, with Native Americans on it. Their faggot butt molesting white priests is the cause of many wars, and please don't forget they sexually molest little boys. These white devil cops kill black children and young black men daily, and as you see, they don't have a conscience. A bunch of walking psychopaths with guns. The white food and drug medical system purposely get you sick by poisoning the food in all local supermarkets and turn around and sell you overpriced drugs that they know are toxic poisons to profit off your sickness and death. These freaking white Satan worshipping locusts have single-handedly destroyed this entire planet, and nobody does nothing about these demons. Look how many hate groups whites have, and ask yourself why. Here's why they are the devil. Why do wealthy white corporations and their government sell drugs? And everybody knows this and deceive you by saying they have the war on drugs. No, they have a war on any competition that interfere with their drug sales. Biblically, these pegawoods are a curse and the devil's spawn. 2 words, ethnic cleansing. In reading this, Israel, knowing dang well that this is the truth, this is what they do when they have a say-so with us. When they have dominion over us, this is what they do. That why in the world are you letting a Gentile come in and make division and make strife between us and make us turn against each other? Why are you listening and following them when they're supposed to listen and follow your light? The Gentiles don't have a goddamn light, nor were they born with a spirit. But you were, Adam. Why are you listening to the Satan in the garden, Adam and Eve? 'Cause all he finna do is make you fall into misery all over again and fight and kill each other. My Israel men and priests, God gave you his law and his light and his spirit. I'll advise you to don't let this Gentile take your position. Don't listen to the devil, 'cause all he ever did was kick you down and take your role as man. 'Cause they ain't man, they beast. And beast shouldn't lead. Put a wolf in charge of your flock and see what happens. You are meant to lead the flock, not the flock lead themselves, 'cause as you see, the flock don't know how to lead themselves. All they're gonna do is go to their prey and get chopped down. That's why God appoints leaders, and it's for the flock to follow their leaders. It's for us, Israel, to follow and fight for our leaders and have their backs when these beasts try to tear them down. Not just let them be tore down, then run to the enemy. You ain't smart doing that, black man and black woman. Brothers, take your position back, and when a Gentile try to step up and say anything, give them this paragraph and tell their butts where to go. This is heaven.